welcome back to another video. We got the G wrapped up green. It looks really good and I think it's holding up, somewhat holding up. But if you haven't seen the last video where I wrapped the G, make sure you check that out after this video and let me know what you think. It looks really good, especially in the sunlight with the little metallic or pearlescent, I don't know what to call it, but yeah, it looks really good. Huge shout out to Vinyl Frog for their sponsorship and the amazing wrap. If y'all do want to buy some wrap, make sure you go down in the description and use code StreetHeem for a 5% discount code. I've had the Chroma Z black and unpainted on the car for like over a year, so it's so weird just seeing a color. But enough of that. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the top 5 mods for your G35/350Z, but this is mostly going to be geared towards the DEs, but you can apply most of these to the HRs. I do want to let y'all know that in today's standards, these VQs are really not that fast, especially the DEs, but the HRs and VHRs you can make somewhat quick with simple bolt-ons. But if you really want to be fast with these cars, specifically the HRs and VHRs, you're going to have to go full bolt-on E85 and cams to push like over like 360 wheel horsepower or something like that. There are 3.7 HR 350Zs that are pushing 400 wheel horsepower, but they are fully built with full bolt-ons, E85, and cams, stuff like that. So it is possible, it just depends on how deep your pockets are. The mods that I'm going to be going over are bolt-on mods for your VQs that will get you started and you'll push some good power when you get a tune. Alright, so the first mod on the list is going to be an aftermarket exhaust. If you really want to maximize your power gains, you should go for a single exit because they are dyno proven to make more power than dual exits. The OEM exhaust system really restricts the engine from breathing, so having one of these exhausts is going to maximize the airflow and get you more power. A lot of people don't like single exits, but I personally like it. So if it's not your style, there are brands out there with dual exits such as Z1, which is kind of pricey. Z1's kind of pricey in general, but there's Z1, there's NVIDIA, which is relatively cheap, and then there's Motordyne, which is probably going to be the most expensive dual exit. It's going to run you about $2,000. If you do like the single exit, you could get the Z1, the ISR, which I have, or the Tomei, which is titanium. Alright, so next on the list is going to be for my DE boys. My engine is really dirty, so don't even mind that. The mod is a plenum spacer, which is right here. This is going to be a really important mod for the DEs. The plenum spacer is really cheap and it's going to increase the air volume capacity in your plenum chamber. Pretty much it's just going to increase the amount of air that goes inside your engine and it will evenly distribute all the air that goes in your cylinders. I can't stress this enough, this is a must-have for you DE boys. There are 2 plenum spacers that I would recommend to you guys, which is the Z1 plenum spacer, really high quality, and the Motordyne plenum spacer, which is also really high quality, and that's what I'm running currently. Alright, so next on the list is going to be an intake. Whatever you do, do not get a hot air intake or intake that ends right here with the filter. Make sure you get a cold air intake that goes from the throttle body and extends all the way in front of the car. If you get a hot air intake, this is going to be sucking up hot air from the engine bay and it's no good. The DEs only have 1 intake, which is right here, and the HRs have 2 intakes, which is right here in the other side. If you have an HR, you're going to end up spending more money than someone with a DE because you do have 2 intakes, which is more material. With your aftermarket colder intakes, you will be sucking in cooler condensed air, which will result in better combustion efficiency for your engine. For the 350Z, some good intakes would be Z1, Admin, Engine, and Stillen. For the G35s, really don't have that many good intakes. Most of them are just hot air intakes, which just end right here. But the only cold air intake I know of for the G35 is going to be an engine intake, which comes all the way down here to the front of the wheel, and you're going to run the risk of sucking in water, which is going to hydrolock your engine, so be careful with that. I would recommend getting a hydro shield. With some of these intakes, it's going to be recommended that you get a tune because the diameter of the intake is way bigger than OEM, so your car might run a little bit weird. And clearly, I don't have an intake, but that is something I'm going to get. I'm going to get like a 3.5 inch diameter intake, so I'm going to need a tune for that, so I'm just going to wait. Alright, so we're going back to the exhaust, and next is going to be test pipes. Y'all can just barely see it, but those are my test pipes right there. I'm running Burke non-resonated test pipes. Out of all these mods, you probably will see the most gains with the test pipes. They replace the spot of the catalytic converters, which are really restrictive, and they will make your car a lot louder. It was so crazy putting on the test pipes because I did really feel the power gain and it made my car way louder than what it was. I'll probably put in an exhaust clip of my car before the test pipes, and I'll put in an exhaust clip of my car after the test pipes. There are a lot of brands that make test pipes, but a lot of them don't sound too good. But the ones I would recommend are Z1, ISR, and Burke. Burke are the ones that I have. A lot of people tell me they sound really good. Personally, I think they sound really good. If you do want your car to have more of a cleaner tone and less rasp, you should go for resonated test pipes, but I don't think you will gain the same amount of power with non-resonated test pipes. If you really don't care about how much money you're going to spend on power, you should ditch the test pipes and go for long tube headers. Those will replace your OEM headers and the test pipes. It will take up both spots. Some good brands are ISR and PPE. Long tube headers will run you upwards of $1,000. And since we're on the topic of headers, the next mod for your VQ is going to be regular shorty headers. You can just barely see them, but those are my headers right there. Those are 1320 performance headers. I got them off eBay, really high quality. I don't think they make them anymore. Like all the other exhaust mods, the headers are going to increase the airflow and get those exhaust gases out of your engine as quick as possible. They did make my car noticeably louder, and I did really feel the power gains right after they got put on. Shout out to Grills Race Studio for getting those put on for me. If you get some cheap headers off eBay or something, they're probably going to run you around $300, $400, but if you want to get some high quality headers, they're going to run you $500, $700, somewhere around there, or even $1,000. Some good headers I would recommend are Z1, ISR, and Tomei. And like I said earlier, if you don't care about the price, you should get long tube headers, which will take up the space of the shorty headers and the test pipes, and you should go for ISR or PPE. That should be 5 things. I didn't really keep track. I kind of just winged it, but I do have some honorable mentions. And the first one is going to be a big bore throttle body. The throttle body that I got was off eBay, which is an OEM Nissan Maxima throttle body, which is made by Hitachi. This throttle body diameter is 75 millimeters. I'm not too sure what the OEM diameter is, but it is bigger. To run this big bore throttle body, you're going to need a spacer, which I got from Simplistic Garage, and a CNC machine, so it's really precise and really high quality. Alright, so for the last mod, which is another honorable mention, is going to be an oil catch can. So when you drive these cars really hard, there is going to be a lot of blow-by, which is going to go back into your intake system, and it's going to build up a lot of carbon. And with that, it's going to reduce the power efficiency of your car. The catch can is going to get the blow-by and the oil contaminants, and it's going to hold it in the container so it doesn't go back in your intake system, and it keeps it clean. Clearly, there is no oil catch can, but that is something I'm going to be picking up before I get tuned. 2 good catch cans that I know of are Mishimoto and AdW1, and I'm probably going to end up going with the AdW1. Alright, so those are all the mods for today's video. If you have an HR, you could expect to push anywhere from 290 to 300 wheel, or a little bit more than 300 wheel horsepower. If you have a DE, you could expect to push anywhere from 260 to 270, or maybe a little bit more wheel horsepower. If you want to push 300 wheel horsepower in your DE, you're going to need all of those mods and some cams. If there's any mods that I didn't talk about that you want to share, make sure you leave it down in the description so everyone else can check it out. If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell because I will be uploading more videos. I have a lot planned for this G.